Joining us this week on the show is the creative team of Canto, the hit fantasy comic series that tells the tale of a tiny clockwork hero on a quest to save his kind from the dreaded Shrouded Man, while meeting friends and other foes along the way. These two fine gentlemen are here to celebrate the release of the next chapter in the Canto legend, A Place Like Home, which is the fifth and seemingly final installment that is now officially over at Dark Horse Comics. It is our pleasure to welcome both David Booher and Drew Zucker onto the Oblivion Bar Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nailed it.
That was a great intro.
The word hero gets thrown around, and yet here we are back again.
Legend, hero,
zero.
You know.
What's it like being home, guys? This is your second time together. Drew, this is your third time on the show, and David, this is your fourth time on the show. So welcome back to the Oblivion Bar Podcast, which you guys might as well just be special co-hosts at this time.
He's tied with Scott Sider.
No,
our favorite pit stop on the Yellow Brick Road.
Hell yeah.
That's right. Actually, no, he's tied currently with Tom King with 4. Oh. Christian Ward's currently leading with 5 appearances. So, David, you're in good company with your 4th appearance.
If
Christian,
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. If David and I combine into one number, can we like meld into one being?
Only if you're in the same room.
Yeah. You have to be in the same. And you know what? We can make that happen in San Diego in a couple weeks. So I guess it's a couple months, but still, we'll make it happen. But anyway, welcome back to the Oblivion Bar, guys. Thanks so much for being here.
San Diego's in a couple weeks. Oh my God. And I had like a mini panic attack. So thank you for that.
Wake up.
Thanks for having us. This is I have stuff to do. This is a wonderful appearance for us on the show. We always love coming on, but especially now because we have such a big exciting launch for Canto coming down. And when this airs, I believe issue 1 of the new series is going to be out. It's actually in the sequence, it's issue 24 of Canto, and it starts, as Aaron said, volume 5. So the most exciting thing is that this is the beginning of our quest with our new publishing partner at Dark Horse. So we left IDW and Dark Horse picked it up. They're publishing single issues, which I can show you.
Look at those early comps.
Covers.
Love that. Beautiful David Mack.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the 1 in 10 retailer incentive cover that David Mack did it for us. He's such a good person. He's a great
one
artist.
Of the nicest people.
Also, he just is always ready to say yes, no matter how much work he has or what's on his schedule and everything. There's that, and then Dark Horse is publishing all of the volumes in beautiful spot gloss hardcover.
Finally.
Why did I buy all the soft covers? Why'd you guys make me do that? Now I have to go get the hardcovers too.
Well, in our defense, volume 1 fell apart a lot.
It's called marketing. It's called marketing, Chris.
I'm not going to lie. Dark Horse has, like what you're holding right there, David. Dark Horse has a beautiful product when it comes to their hardcovers. I have several of theirs because, Dark Horse does a lot of their Doom, some of their walkthroughs, like things like that. And I love the quality of their hardcovers. And as Chris knows, if I'm going to buy I guess what do you call it, like a trade? It's going to be a hardcover, a collection. I'm going to buy the hardcover. I prefer it. It looks nicer, and it just it feels nice in the hands. And so I'm excited to pick up Canto in the hardcovers.
And that hardcover came out so much better than we could have hoped.
All the covers sort of look similar, so it's like branding for it. And then for some reason, and I can't put my finger on it, someday I'll figure this out, but the actual printing of the pages inside, it actually looks better. I don't know if they adjusted the levels a little bit or what they did, but it actually it just looks better in the hardcover. Yeah. So not only are you getting that beautiful book you could put on your shelf, but when you read it, you kind of get a little bit of different experience from having it. For even having the hardcovers, Chris, so it's not a total loss. You can buy all the hardcovers and experience it anew.
And you get all the behind the scenes stuff that's in there, and there is a lot in there.
You guys are they're going to put on an omnibus. They're going to put out hardcover collected editions, special variants of the covers. So I guess I'm just going to have to get all of them. I'm going to put all in my pre-order now.
Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. It's fine. Who cares? It's just money. Just money.
All of you in the background is ching, ching, ching.
Pre-orders are a problem for future Chris.
That's right. Yeah, we're not worried about him, but
just like bills.
That's right. And kind of, we're talking about all this current Canto stuff. I think it's important that we take a quick step back here. Since 2019, Canto has been such a mega success for both of you and has truly garnered himself a very dedicated fan base for comic readers. Highly sought after first issue, options in Hollywood, trading cards, statues, more variants than Chris Claremont and Jim Lee's X-Men #1. And now 4 dedicated chapters with, again, that 5th installment on the way with a brand new publisher. So, Drew, I'm going to start with you here on that last point. What's the move been like for Canto from IDW over to Dark Horse?
It's been really amazing. Dark Horse kind of, when we made the decision to leave, Dark Horse kind of threw all of their support behind the book in a way that I'm not sure either one of us was really prepared for, but we had always kind of hoped they would. And the experience has just been fantastic. Logistically, everything is handled in a way that we very rarely have to be involved in kind of the minutia of it. We're just there to kind of make decisions. But it's nice because it allows us to just focus on what we should be doing, which is making the book. So to that end, it's been a really great experience.
Mm-hmm. David, how about you? From your angle, how has this move been for Canto over to Dark Horse, which we've already been bragging on Dark Horse a ton. Aaron and I can tell you firsthand, when we reach out to creators, when we have, early comps, Dark Horse is, maybe far and away our favorite publisher that we like to kind of reach out to for all that.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
Just a contrast of how
cut that, and I'm sending it to Dark Horse.
Yep,
that's it. Just the one little clip.
Gotcha.
No, it's been amazing. We were with IDW for four years of the 5 years that Canto has been out, and we published a lot through IDW. And when you get that far in a series, you kind of just are looking for some way to breathe sort of life into an excitement and that sort of thing. And when our license came to the end, we talked to IDW and we talked to Dark Horse, and Dark Horse had all this enthusiasm. The editors, our editors on Canto, were already very familiar. They were already fans of the series. So it was a very easy conversation to say, will you all continue this? And then they came in and they really expressed a lot of confidence in how this, series is going to continue playing out, not only with the hardcovers, but the new single issues that there's going to be you never hear about 6-issue, like mini series anymore. It's like 4 issues, 5 issues. Maybe if you are, we talked about Tom King and, and James Tynan and, some of these big, top level folks can get 6-issue series greenlit or 12-issue series, but it's very rare now. And Dark Horse did not bat an eye. We said, this is our creative vision. This is how it's going to end, how Canto's going to end. And we want to do that. And they're like, well, okay, great, let's do that. And so their commitment has been outstanding. I think when we saw the covers coming in, even just the 3 covers I showed you, they just felt like this is Drew and Vittorio, the colorist on Canto. This is Lisa Heidhoff. This was our editor's idea for doing a stained glass. And then again, David Mack. Felt like when the covers were coming in, it was like a level up. It was a level up with everything. Not to say that our other covers weren't beautiful, but you could just see it sort of forming into this something that they really wanted to curate and make feel special. And that was the best part. Dark Horse, as Aaron said, Dark Horse, their books are beautiful. I've been doing other work with them. I did Killer Queens with them. I did Ghostbusters with them. So it was an easy conversation to have, transition to make.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, I'm loving it, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I love Ghostbusters. I love the franchise. So to get to bust some ghosts was pretty darn cool.
I don't know if Chris mentioned, but I'm actually since moving to New York, I've joined the New York City Ghostbusters. And so I was the one who was like in the group. I'm like posting, I'm like, the new book's out. You guys got to go get it.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
So.
And just so you know that he's not just giving you like a bunch of praise in front of your face, he actually mentioned it last night on our Patreon episode that he was really enjoying the series just offhandedly without me prompting him. So I'm here to reaffirm that he's being truthful here.
Well, I love it. I mean, I love to hear it. I was just in New York this past week. I took a snap in front of the firehouse because I'd never been there before, which was super cool. The most support that I've gotten, the most enthusiasm that I've gotten, comics readers seem to enjoy the series, but it's the Ghostbusters folks. The LA Ghostbusters are so supportive of the series. New York Ghostbusters, Cherryland Ghostbusters, which is out in, I think Michigan somewhere. They're just like all over this. And it was so fun to be a part of that. I bored him. So
Aaron's walking away to show you something here. He's going to bring up something in the camera. What's he got here?
He's
got his uniform.
You got a flight suit. You got a flight suit. Let's go.
I got 3 of them. So I have a summer, a winter, and a spring one.
When are you going to get your red winter?
I'm not getting that parka.
The trailer parka?
Yeah, the one that everybody went wild over. But I was just going to say, because I know that actually next week is the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters. And so there's going to be a huge celebration up here in New York. That would have been a great time for you to come up here and celebrate. Because I know up here in New York, they're doing a bunch of stuff at the firehouse. And, with your work on it, I know everybody's enjoying it. But
well, it's not too late. It's not too late. Maybe I'll show up in New York.
Hey, let me know. I'll show you around.
It's all about it's all about appearances, right? So people will be like,
that's a long, quick flight, like a long flight to just set up because you're all the way on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
I got a guest room.
That LAX to JFK is like piece of cake. Piece of cake.
Well, let's get back talking about Canto. The last time we were actually all together here on the Oblivion Bar, we were discussing your Zoop horror tale, The Feeding, which doubled its funding goal and seemed to be a huge success for you both. David, you have since become an Eisner-nominated writer, which we honestly should have mentioned at the top, and some type of royal fanfare prepared for you. Drew, you are working on TMNT covers and interiors for a freaking Avengers title, man. That's awesome. Drew, let's start with you. What was the conversation like when Whatnot and Marvel approached you to work on Beyond Earth's Mightiest?
They were like, they basically just told me this is what we're doing. And it came to me in a really roundabout way. I was recommended by Marvel's head of talent relations to John Barber, who was our EIC at IDW when we were doing Canto. Has since left, set up his own shop, and then the offer came from him. But so it's like, it's like 6 degrees of separation basically, but all these people I've met throughout my career all kind of slingshot back around just to offer me this project and then, come back to working with them.
So it's going full circle for you.
Exactly. But it was awesome. I mean, it was, I had kind of reached a point in my career, especially when Canto started, that I was like, I'm done chasing Marvel and DC. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth, the heartbreak. They will come to me when they're ready to do something. And in the meantime, I'm going to do my own thing and do what I want to do. And it seems to have worked out so far because that's how it came to me. But, getting to do that stuff, I was a little sad it was only 12 pages because I felt like once I hit like 10 and 11 in particular, I was really finding my groove. But it was definitely, there was a stress moment with it where you're like, oh my God, this is actually happening and I have to deliver here. But then, once you're in it, it's just like these are the greatest toys in the world that you're getting to play with.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I always find it interesting because I hearing you talking about, your kind of feelings of being approached. It almost feels like it's like a rite of passage as like somebody in the comic creation like industry. You kind of have to at one point just be okay that you might not be on some of these like big two books. And then once you get there, once that expectation is gone, the world kind of opens up to you, and it probably will happen once you've been like, okay, if maybe not in the cards, it'll like slap you in the face and be like, your time,
It's like getting a girlfriend.
Right. Yeah, kind of.
You don't get one when you want one, but when you don't want one, they're everywhere.
Exactly.
Oh.
That's
You
how I got
can.
married.
I mean, you're right, Aaron. Though you just can't. You cannot focus on that. It all has to be about your own work and and the story
Yes.
that you want to tell. You just have to. You have to keep your head down, and you can't be worried about what everybody else is doing all around you. And are they gonna? Did I get any cool emails today that I can vague tweet about, and all this stuff? All of it is like superfluous, extra stuff. It's all about you and your work and your stories and you telling them. So I've probably over the last 6 months or so, I've come to that sort of, place of peace, of not worrying about what's going on around me, because it's all about story all the time. And that's all it should be about. Not anything else about benchmarks or nominations or anything like that. Just focus on the work. And so, I don't know, none of that ever really bothers me. I don't know. I enjoy, I mean, Canto's a perfect example, right?
Well,
It's us doing something we love.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it and we love it.
David and I were talking about this over the weekend too, that, there is definitely a freedom in Canto that I feel that I don't feel doing other stuff. And it's because I'm so intimately acquainted with it. And it's mine and his. I answer to no one outside of David and my own level of, what I want to put into it and the standard I set for myself. Marvel and DC, they have 12 billion factors that they have to consider beyond whatever it is, I might be doing. And I personally, as sad as this makes me, I think the era of the run is kind of over, at least for the time being. So, that stuff is all fun and it's great to go and play with other people's toys. I'm always happy to do it. I have my personal bucket list. I have a list of pitches I would like to make someday. But at the end of the day, stuff like Canto is definitely where I'm more comfortable and where my focus is.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Aaron was sort of poking fun there a little bit with the fanfare and such for you, David. But seriously, from both Aaron and I, congratulations on not only your Eisner noms for Killer Queens and Reign, but also your GLAAD nomination for Killer Queens 2, which has a trade coming out here in the next month on the 19th. So our question for you, and I know that's right,
taking over, yeah.
And so you kind of touched on this a little bit just a moment ago, but I kind of want to dive in just a little bit deeper. In terms of when you get that sort of recognition and acclaim for your work, how does a comic creator's career change, if at all?
It's a great question. And I think about it, but not quite in those terms. On the surface level, I think a lot of folks think that it doesn't change. Like when I went to the Eisners last year, and the thing that everybody still talks about is I wore a pink velour tux jacket.
It was a great jacket.
It was
absolutely fantastic.
But nobody, nobody
fantastic.
cares. Nobody is talking about, the nominations, blah, blah, blah. They're like the jacket. So that sort of encapsulates. It's not like anything changed, but what has changed since then? Having Canto be successful, getting the Eisner and GLAAD nominations, it has given me the freedom to not worry about stuff. Somebody gave me great advice, and this is probably not something I should share publicly, but I'm going to anyway. Somebody gave me great advice, and sometimes I worry about chasing licenses and chasing different books, and like, should I take this work? Do I regret passing on this work? Whatever. And my friend told me, said 5 years from now, nobody's going to remember X thing that you did, but everybody's going to remember Canto. So you could also do nothing for the next 5 years, and then come out with something, and people are still going to know, oh, you're the one who did Canto. So it's created this freedom to be able to focus on my own work and put out my own work. So it's eliminated the anxiety of, I think a lot of creators feel, which is like keeping up with each other. I liken it to driving on the freeway. And if you look to the left or right, other cars are going faster than you, other cars are going slower than you. Everybody's going to a different place, and you just keep your eyes forward to where you are going, and you'll get there without the anxiety of worrying about everybody else around you. So my life did not change on the surface level, except I have a lot less anxiety now about what I'm doing. I'm pursuing the things that I love, the stories that I love, creator-owned work, really focusing on that. And, hopefully it works out. If not, it's been a fun ride, guys. Being on Oblivion Bar, tying Tom King for appearances on Oblivion Bar is like, that's the top.
That's all the acclaim you need
to the
right
top.
there.
I made it to the top.
Does he get a plaque if he does that?
I think it's 10 times, Aaron, correct? You get 10 times. 10 times is a plaque and a jacket. I'm pretty sure.
No, Chris, I've told you this 6 times. 10 times you get a certificate. 3 certificates, you get I think it's a blue ticket.
Yeah.
And you get 8 blue tickets. You exchange them for the 1 golden ticket. You enter that into the Zatan machine in was it
Zimbabwe, right?
The pier at the pier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then he gives you your fortune, and then if your fortune says that you get it, then you're good. You get the plaque.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
David, we got to do a lot more books because we got a lot more appearances to make to get that golden ticket.
I just pop in, come out of frame, just like
we're talking to Lee Williams, and I just see David come from around the corner in the screen.
Yeah. That counts, guys. And I leave.
That's a win. That's a one. Yep.
It's just constantly him like running behind people on the show.
Appearance.
How'd you even get there?
San Diego's a big one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like I said, we're doing a show there. Everyone, we've already made a pact. You guys didn't see it, but we all put our hands in the middle. And we said we're doing a show together at San Diego. So that'll be
hands.
Yeah, hands in the middle. But I want to quickly let's tie it back. We're kind of on the topic of Canto. I want to specifically talk about A Place Like Home. This first issue again. It just came out, which June 5th. Or sorry, excuse me. It didn't come out yet. You have them, David. It doesn't come out until June 5th, correct? Right? That's what I was trying to get to. All right.
Correct.
And as we said there in the beginning, this is unknowingly and possibly a farce. It's being billed as the final chapter of Canto's journey. So, David, why is now the time that we're ending Canto's journey?
Well, okay.
Let's see you dance around this one.
Yeah. Okay. Since the very beginning, we've always had a vision of where the story was going to end, both the first 6 issues and then overall the story arc. It sort of changed in the middle a little bit, but we always knew where we were going to end up and what the final sequence is going to be. In fact, Drew and I are sort of working on that final sequence in the last couple issues right now as we speak. And it's so remarkably similar to what we had envisioned 5 years ago. So, I guess I totally lost the thread of your question. Is this the end? Is this the end?
Is this the end?
Yes, that's the question.
Well, yeah. So
mark?
That's my answer. Is we had this ending in mind. So this is the Lord of the Rings cycle for us. It's the 3 movies that are ending, and some will survive through it, some will not, and we'll figure out. We sort of have a vision of what it's gonna what things will look like after this is all over. But this is our big final. It just feels so natural as to where the story has gone to, where the story has been, where it's going to end up. So that's sort of why we're billing it as the end of Canto's story, because it really, for us, this big Shrouded Man saga, this big storytelling, epic, ends at this point, and what comes next is going to be different. It's going to look different.
How do you guys feel about that? Like on like an emotional level, it's got to have some kind of, I don't know. There's like maybe like a sadness, but also like a point of pride there. Cause I know some books don't even make it that far, but you guys have, this is your final lap, quote unquote. How does it feel?
It's emotional. I mean, like for me, so it has been a rough year because unfortunately my dad passed away at the end of last year.
Sorry to hear that.
He was my biggest cheerleader, and David will attest to that. He saw it too, and it's rough enough that this is the place that David and I set out to go 5 years ago, and the fact that we're here is just kind of unbelievable. I'm drawing pages and I'm like, it's not really hitting me yet that we finally got to this point. But then to add to it that, my dad unfortunately isn't going to get to see the end of this, which was something I fought very hard to have happen, but wasn't in the cards for this, unfortunately. But, there is a lot of emotion, I think, for both of us with this, that this project has been our baby for, the entirety of its existence. And it's very much the result of the two of us. It's the two of us really putting everything we've got creatively into this, because it doesn't look the same if it's just me. It doesn't look the same if it's just David. This is 5 years of us, driving towards one single goal. And the fact that we're at the end is both, upsetting and exciting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we both believed in this story so much that it feels, I mean, maybe it's the lack of perspective over the course of 5 years, but it feels like this moment was sort of inevitable, and however form it would take, whether we published it ourselves and kept pushing forward with it. I just feel like this is where where we were meant to end up as creatives, and where Canto's story was meant to end up. And everything to get there. There's been so many challenges with this series behind the scenes that folks don't even know about, that for us to have this first issue be coming out to end the story arc is just such a wonderful final finale to everything that we have gone through, that Canto's gone through, that the world has gone through. It came out, and the first issue came out it's uncanny. But you think about it, the first issue came out in June of 2019. So we had 6 issues out, June through November or December, I think. The trade, the collection of those first 6 issues came out in March of 2020. So the majority of Canto, the vast majority of Canto, has been amidst and post-pandemic, right? Mm-hmm. So to have this all be able to happen over the course of 5 years is wild. Drew and I, everything that we've gotten to do has been since 2020, since we all got locked down, and it's wild to think that. But so it feels like this is the right place for us to have ended up, both personally and story wise.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys should be proud. You guys have done honestly an amazing thing, and I think from our perspective, it's kind of interesting with hearing you say that, and the passion that you have describing the process, the timeline. It's very weird how it's also almost the same parallel timeline for the Oblivion Bar, because we really started almost exactly around the same time. Obviously, nothing compared to the journey that you two have gone through, or that Canto has gone through.
I see Chris's posts. But he's like, I have the president on. I have Madonna on this week. Everybody want to talk to Billie Eilish?
I have nuclear codes, and we're going to share them on the Oblivion Bar podcast.
Hey, Swifties, guess who's on next week?
Exactly. If name rhymes with Mish Mevans, he'll be on next week.
But I appreciate it knowing and letting us have this kind of introspective, getting beneath the surface and hearing, because that's one thing that we don't really get a lot of, that we really haven't had a lot of on the Oblivion Bar, is that kind of
full circle emotion.
Say again.
Full
Legacy.
Circle.
Going full circle, but have seeing and getting to ask you about the again, this culmination of emotion, the culmination of this story, everything kind of coming to a head, and then getting that from you point blank. So I appreciate you being willing to share that with us.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, you go. I want to hear and judge.
There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff, I think, if you go back to 2019 in particular, that either from creatives, from books, from, the journalism podcast side of things, from the publishers, there's a lot of the beginnings of what the next couple of years of the industry are going to look like. Mm-hmm. You'll find a lot of what has either become a mainstay or has had some sort of ability to help push things towards the direction it's headed. a lot of it I feel like came from there. I felt it even in, the group that we went into IDW with. Some of those creators are still around. It's something that we're all kind of in our own little silos, but as you kind of pop your head out and take a look around, you'll realize how many people from that, kind of 2-year window are still at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fun fact about those IDW years, you actually had to kill 3 other creators to get a book greenlit.
It's true. Each.
I'm glad you guys made it through.
So 6.
Oh,
well, and
3 Hunger Games, them, man.
Oh, don't reference Battle Royale.
Yeah,
Come on,
Battle
not
Royale's a
Hunger
good one.
Games.
Yeah.
Battle Royale, I don't even know what that is. Is that some sort of wrestling thing?
Yeah,
That's a
No.
Japanese
Somebody's
school kids kill each other. It's like it's yeah.
I'll take care of him. And
Yeah,
say
please.
this.
Thank
You
you.
educate our friend here.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
manga?
It's
Is it manga?
Hunger Games, but better. No.
No,
Okay.
it's a movie.
That's fair.
Actually, I think it started off as manga, but it's
In
yeah.
my day.
Yeah. Well, and to kind of build off what you guys were saying there, the epicness of this sort of final series is that reading A Place Like Home #1, which, hey, shout out to everybody. I know David has his copies. We also have our digital copies. So but by the time you guys listen to this, you probably also have yours. But anyway, we got to read out.
Swifties.
Yeah, suck it, Swifties. Reading through this, there is like sort of.
No. Speaking of
Sorry,
Battle Royale,
I'm going to cut that out.
I'm
going to cut
they're
that out.
coming for you. They are coming
Yeah.
for you.
I have the power of the
I-
post
I-
production.
I need armor because that I'm not safe just being, in
Associated?
a square next to you.
Yeah, exactly. I put a target on all of our heads with that
God.
statement. Don't worry, I'll edit it out. Not really. I'm gonna keep it in. But the epicness of this first issue is just you can feel it almost immediately. I think there's a very specific full splash by you, Drew. That's I think maybe one of the most iconic Canto pages in the entire series history. It's David. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
He's
about
going
to
to
rip
show
it
it
open.
only
I wanna
because
see
it's
really-
been out there.
I was gonna say I want to see which one if you are picking up the same one that I'm thinking of. Aaron, I
And
think
if it's the one-
you know which one I'm talking
So
about
the
too.
Shrouded
Actually,
Man,
Yeah.
I love this
If
scene
it's the one
so
I think you're
freaking
talking about,
much.
there's a story.
I love this scene so much in this little sequence right here.
do you want to
I'm
give us a
pretty
little
sure this
taste because
is-
the
Yeah,
issue
yeah,
will be
yeah.
already out.
So
I'm pretty sure
so
we've
the,
shown
the
this
Shrouded
page.
Man and like they're sort of communicating because Canto has the Shrouded Man's heart, so they're like connected mentally and they can talk to each other. So Shrouded Man says, "You climbed this tower once before and you failed in your quest. Tell me, slave, why do you believe you will succeed this time?" And Kento's like falling off the tower and he's crawling up the tower and you can see him just going up to the top and Canto says, "That's not the question that should worry you, evil wizard. The question that should worry you is why you believe I won't." It's
Exactly. That is an iconic. If you don't have a
you
print
can
of that
picture it
at
in
your
the
next
in like
convention,
the rain's
Drew,
coming down and like he's climbing with the axe and
Yep.
he comes up and you see the shot of just his hand coming up and then his head comes up a little bit and he pulls himself up and he says, "Why do you believe I won't?" And he's like, fucking, excuse my language, battle ready to go.
So
no, it's okay. You can curse here. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's safe space.
the,
Yeah.
It's
the
like
fun
all
story
ages.
about that page is
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is
Uh,
that the one?
That was
Chris?
the one. You're correct. Yes. Yep.
all right. So that page actually is a redraw.
Oh, no kidding.
There is another version of it that fun side note, I think this issue was done almost a year prior to it going to finishes with Dark Horse. There was a pretty significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and was just like, I'm not loving what's there, and redrew the entire thing.
Wow.
So there is an unused completed page that's in my archives.
I was going to say, can you put aside, I don't know if David's called dibs yet or not or anything, but can you put aside that page and I'll make small installments for the next 4 or 5 years to get that?
You're like the third or fourth person on an installment plan.
Well, before
Yeah,
we let
just-
you guys go, I think it's important that we just quickly reflect on what were you going to say? What were you going to say, David?
I was just going to say that the epicness that you felt with that moment, it's that way through this whole final story arc. And I feel it and I'm internalizing it that this is the final confrontation. So I'm just glad that I loved that page as soon as it came through. I'm like, oh, and for me, it's easy. It's scripting, right? I only had to write it once, and it was just a tiny little thing. That's like, Canto does his hero thing. And he says that line, and that's it. And I'm like, Drew, go. And so that's what we get. So, it's epic and wonderful, and we love it. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Hacker's going to want this.
Well, again,
Drew, don't
before we
screw
let
it
you guys go. All right. Before we let you guys go, I think it's important that we reflect on not only my favorite New York Comic Con moment, but one of my favorite con moments ever. In 2021, us three, we got together with Jack DeMeo of Whatnot at the Pig and Whistle in the Diamond District of Manhattan and talked comics and everything in between. But since then, you two, as we've mentioned throughout this entire conversation, have had an array of success in the medium, and it has shown. And also, in a very similar light, Aaron, we've had success here on the show, again, in a smaller, sort of amount. As we talked about earlier, no big deal. We talked to Michael Avon Oming last night, and we'll be talking to Brian K. Vaughan next week. So not to name drop or anything, but you guys are in the long list of just incredible guests that want to come onto the Oblivion Bar podcast. But my final question for you here is, and David, I want to start with you. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but I want to see if maybe you can be a little more specific on, personal goals. Is there anything that you want to accomplish in your career in comics over the next 3 years, compared to 2019 when we first, 2021, when we all first met? Is there anything that you want to accomplish in the next 3 years in your career that you haven't gotten to yet?
This has changed. This has changed over time. I would say it used to be, I had some specific ideas for some other characters, but that really has changed. So I think one of my goal would be, two goals. One, I really, like to focus on TV and film writing. Mm-hmm. So I'd love to see something that started as a comic that I've done, adapt that and see it get on the screen in moving pictures. But also I would love to find a way to replicate the experience that we've had with Canto with a new series, a whole original series. So I'd love to go on this journey again. I'd love to have our Hobbit after we finish Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Drew, how about you?
So I kind of have, two goals with that also. One of them is very much to do what David's talking about. I am eager to do this all over again. Like, this has been, this is an experience that not a lot of people get to have, much less get to have success with. And to get to do it with someone else where you're not locked in a room completely on your own, but instead, for as much headbutting as he and I can do sometimes, we get to really put something out that people seem to respond to. And, personally, I can't wait to do it again. As far as my other goal, I just want to do everything I can to make this industry healthier than where it is right now. I'm a big believer that comics is the greatest storytelling medium ever because of its low bar of entry as far as, what it costs to do it. You're only limited by how good you are at it. Mm-hmm. But it breaks my heart to watch the industry in the state it is. And I'm not one of these people that thinks it's going away anytime soon, but I am someone that thinks that there's a path forward to make this healthier and that there is still a desire for these things. So that's one of just, it's a 3-year goal, a 20-year goal, a 50-year goal is to kind of keep making the place healthier and better.
Your North Star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that because Chris is always bringing up this, I'm not sure who the quote is by, Chris. You'll have to remind me, but he's always bringing this quote up or this statement up about how since the beginning, comics have been both like on the brink of success and on the brink of bankruptcy since their inception. And I think that's kind of an interesting vantage, especially coming into the comic reading world. And it's like it feels like such an industry that is like, it's pivotal. It's so much fun. We think about it. Like I remember as a kid, comics. I remember, I think comics have been around. Obviously, they have been around for decades before I was even alive. And so it's interesting to know that they're always on this possible path to being what do you call it? Extinct, to going extinct, but at the same time they're just everywhere, so it's so wild to think that that's going on at the same exact time. But no, definitely respectable to want to be, I myself want to be value added in any place that I am, so I totally respect that, Drew.
1 second.
I would very much like to burn it all down. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can tell.
Well, someone once told me that the comics medium requires our participation. Like, if we have love for this medium, we have to put the good in it that we want from it. Like, if we don't do it, no one will. We can't expect anyone else to do that except for us. So on that note, I think you guys are doing it incredibly well with Canto and your other work. And Aaron and I, in our very small way, are trying to do that as well with the Oblivion Bar, celebrating the medium, bringing on creators to talk about their work and sort of, highlighting it in that sense. So I think if we just keep doing what us four are doing while also cracking jokes and winning, getting Eisner noms and drawing Avengers comics,
hearts and minds, and minds.
We're going to keep on keeping on with the comics medium, keeping it fresh and alive.
Well, and that's what we can do as the show is we can highlight creators such as these two gentlemen who have more than just a desire to fill their wallet, but the desire to impact positively the industry and just the I don't want to call it just an industry, because I feel the culture.
I've told people this at work that you have, and it is so true for comics, and I think that David will agree. You have no idea how far your actions will carry as far as how they impact people. Canto, we have gotten letters from people that I don't think either one of us were ever prepared to get as to how the book affects them. And then there are the people that we'll never hear from, who have read it but they remember it, and 15, 20 years from now, they're sitting there with a book talking to you two, like, oh yeah, this book Canto is what inspired me to do it. That day may never come, but it may come. But you don't know how far it goes. So it's always worth putting that effort into it, because if you're going to do it, it's worth putting that level of it out there.
I actually used the quote the other day that Chris, that I learned through Chris. I used it in a job interview, Chris.
Oh.
You'd be proud of me. It was a Ron Swanson quote, and it's never half-ass anything, always whole-ass everything.
One thing. Don't half-ass a couple things. Whole-ass one thing.
I used that in the job interview, and I got kudos by the interviewers.
Well, Aaron, do you want to bring up our last sort of event before we let David and Drew go? We have a little thing that we want to present to you guys.
We want to crack. So Chris and I both have, I don't know if you guys have packs, if you have access to them or not, but Chris and I have the Whatnot exclusive first edition Canto collectible art cards boxes, and we want to crack a pack.
David has so many.
Just a hoarder.
These are all of the possible hits. These are all the secret rares. There's a sketch card.
Hoarder.
Now he's just showing off.
You have an edition for every single one?
I have 18 of 20, I think.
Oh, okay. Do you have this one? Do you have the secret rare Javon Jordan first edition?
Do you mean?
Because I have this one. I have the 25 of the 25, I guess.
Right.
He's like, let me find it. Give me about 20 minutes.
There it is. Yeah. I was gonna say, if you don't have this one. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. I need one of those Canto collectible
those
holders.
Those cases were awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do a little trading card ASMR, Aaron. So we got to pull. We're gonna pull out of our box here.
I'm opening my box for the world.
I'm gonna open it up like a savage here. So I'm opening up my pack.
Animals.
Drew, do you have one at all or no?
Let me.
I don't know if you have a pack. We'll wait for you if you have one. I can edit around this.
I'll wait for you.
Hang on.
I'm opening up my sealed pack, and David is grimacing over there because I just opened up a sealed pack.
You have a business card too?
Aaron has a Ghostbusters business card.
This is a New York City Ghostbusters business card. So this is what they, I have a couple of them just because, I thought it'd be neat to grab a couple.
I like the ASMR, Chris.
I'm gonna wait till Drew gets back. I'm gonna start doing some ASMR.
David, are you cracking?
All right. Damn it. There's so much
I'm
tape
just
on this
calming.
thing.
I'm imbibing the mellow
You're
from the
imbibing
ASMR.
the mellow.
From
All
the
right, Aaron.
ASMR.
Do you have your pack?
Oh. Hold on. There's so much tape on this goddamn box.
Whatnot did a great job sealing these boxes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, they're never supposed to be open.
I don't want to get the one right off top, so I'm gonna dig. I'm gonna bury my. I'm gonna go down deep. All right. So I have a pack.
So every pack I think
have
has
a pack.
11 cards in it. It has like 5 or 6 commons, about 4 uncommons, a
know if
story
you can
card
hear
or a
this.
character card, and then a hollow.
Chris,
you
did
know
you
when
open yours?
when they open up the Pokemon cards, you know how they have to like put the 2 front cards in the back to get the ultra rare as their last card.
Yeah,
Is that a
they're
similar
actually-
thing?
This thing.
No, they're stacked, so the hollow should be in the back.
Okay, good deal. On the back here, it says Whatnot exclusive Canto created by David Booher and Andrew Zucker. So
It does.
Another fun typo.
they didn't put the Zuck. They misspelled your name. They said Andrew Zucker. It should be the Zuck, right?
The Zuck.
The Zuck.
Get zucked and zuck yourself.
I'm
Aaron,
a little upset that this is made in made in China, but it's got Toronto, Ontario.
Not
Where
American
the
made.
company is.
First strike,
Wow.
everybody. First
Wow.
strike.
Mm.
Not
All right.
patriotic. Canto's not patriotic.
Kanto hates America.
That's
Just
Cut
despises
that bite.
it.
Cut that bite as well. This is gotcha journalism at its best.
Kento hates
All right.
America. Yeah, thanks, Newsmax.
next stop, Daily Mail.
My next commission will be it'll be Kanto wearing a MAGA hat.
Oh no.
I won't draw it.
I will not
Absolutely
draw
not.
that. Okay, these packs are extremely difficult to open.
Yes. I've got mine. Okay, mine is officially open.
All right, I got mine open. Aaron, you go first.
I remember
All
the
right,
first time I ever opened a card pack too. It was
I
fun.
remember my first beer.
I'm in my first card pack.
All right, so do I just I have the backs up. Do I just
So
do that?
go
Put
to
the
the
backs-
art first.
Go to the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the
Okay.
front.
Flip
Go to
them
the
over
front.
so you see the front.
Okay,
All right.
so this is a pretty. I like this one. Wow, these are pretty nice. These are like thick.
We've opened up an
Yeah.
entire box on stream before, so you should know this.
I wasn't. I don't think I
It's
was
been
there.
a while.
We did it on the grid.
They're
I
little
don't
many
think so.
weapons. Each one is a weapon.
But-
so
They are good. They're nice
Throwing
and
star.
strong. Yeah. All right.
that's
So yeah.
I could. So that's a cover from Canto 3 from by Will Stolley, who designs the
Nice.
book covers for Stephen King's novels.
I like
kinda
that.
cool.
I like that art style.
Yeah.
Is somebody else going next?
No, you go through your entire
Oh,
thing.
just going through everything.
Go,
Okay.
go,
I
hold
don't
up
have
for-
one, so
Hold it up for David so he can tell you. Oh, there's the first cover.
it's the first cover that
What?
we changed colors on to make it for a Whatnot exclusive. So that's Drew Zucker and Vittorio Stoney.
Whatnot second exclusive
Is this
cover
is this
there,
like
Vic.
this is a test?
It's
See if
show
I
and
can get all
tell.
these. That is also
Hollow
that
Man
is
number
Canto 2, Hollow Man number 2, Drew Zucker, Vittorio Stoney.
You do not get a shock today.
This is the San Diego Comic-Con 2019 convention exclusive that now is several $100s if you can find one.
Yeah.
This was Drew's New Hope tribute cover, Drew Zucker and Vittorio Stoney.
And then
That's,
he
yeah,
made me
that's the
actually
one.
do a
That's
New
my
Hope.
one of my favorites, and I have.
This is Canto Tales of the Unnamed World number 2. That is the Return of the Jedi cover by Drew Zucker and Vittorio Stoney. You got a Drew heavy pack.
Somebody had to drew it.
Oh my god.
The right man drew it.
Do the drew.
All right, so here. I've got the best card of the bunch.
Oh my gosh, he's got the original art
It's
for it.
got
Holy
the
crap.
art.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Yes. Is that one with the crease?
This isn't fair. You guys are the
these are
creators. Of
9/8.
course you have all the cool shit.
Yeah.
Those are the 9/8. I bought these on the open market.
You have a 9/8 of that?
I have a 9/8 of this one,
Ugh.
and this was the retailer incentive, the 1 in 10 incentive cover by Nick
Wow.
Robles.
But
you
believe it
had
or
to
not,
order-
I do not have a 9/8 number one.
For all the podcast listeners, David is holding up 9.8s of all 3 first issues, the San Diego Comic exclusive,
First
the incentive,
printing.
and the normal cover. First printings.
I'm jealous.
Well, I bought them
Ah!
in 2019.
That was specifically for this is a Shrouded Man character card that was done specifically for the card set.
Nice.
Yep, original art.
Nice. I like
That's
that cover.
cupcake.
That's the Canto Pride cupcake.
Yep. Those were hot on Whatnot for a long time.
I don't know if you can find many of them.
Issue
that's
1 for
Canto-
the Hollow Man.
2, the first issue. That's Drew and Vittorio again.
Should be getting to your rare right here soon. I think upcoming.
That is an upside down card.
Upside down. That is the Return of the Jedi cover that doesn't have his trade dress on it.
So just the same as.
Yep.
Right. Except that one without the trade dress was never a cover. It was only for the cards.
And then
Canto
what is that
number
there?
6. That's your holo.
Nice.
That's your.
That's a nice
Yeah, there you go. Is that a good one?
Canto's-
I don't even know.
They're all good ones, Chris.
Oh, I mean, in terms of like rarity, they're
the
all, of
hits
course we love them.
are secret rares. Are the one in 25s.
Okay.
Now I'm addicted. Now I want to open another.
All right. Well, I'll go
That's
next.
how it happens.
Drew,
Hacker.
you're last. So okay, first up we have.
Same one.
Will Stolly again.
Will Stolly.
Yep. Up next.
Also Will Stolly, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great cover.
It's
That's
issue
Drew.
3.
Issue 3.
Yep.
Drew and Vittorio.
That's
Is George Kaltsudis.
Kaltsudis.
Yeah.
Canto 2. That's the 1 in 25 incentive cover.
That's Philip Seavey.
Philip Seavey, who I think you worked on the house with, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Phil wrote the house, and I drew it. Shrouded Man character card again.
Yep.
That's so funny. So Tales of the Unnamed World, number 1?
Yep.
Number 2?
Number 2. That's
That's,
Lionhearted number 2.
Yeah. It's a Drew Zucker
All right.
Vittorio Stoney special.
The two big ones. You ready? Oh man! All right.
You got a
here's
secret
second.
rare.
Yep.
If there's 2, you got a secret rare, and you got to tell me
Yep.
which one it is, because if I'm missing
Which
it,
one is this one? Which one is this one though?
That's Natasha
Nicole-
Alterici.
Yes.
Yep. That's my ultra rare.
It's an incentive
Then
cover.
I have 2 cards to redeem at San Diego.
Nice. Nice
what
work.
number is
This
it?
is number 17, and then the one I have right here from before when we were first talking is number 155.
Chris, can I have a selfish?
You can have one of these, Aaron. I'll give you one of my.
No. I don't need it.
Oh, why? Oh, you got another one too?
Did you just pull that?
Yeah.
Just right now?
Oh, my.
Just right now.
What?
Nice.
What number is yours?
83.
Drew,
I'm
we're going
not
to keep you busy
redeeming
at San Diego. All right, Drew, you ready? Let's do yours.
Yep.
It's going to be funny if he gets one.
If you get one, can I draw it for you?
You got it.
I'm going to draw it.
I have David. Come on.
Canto 3, number
Stop cheating.
4?
Number 5. Number 5.
I don't know. There's just been so many. That's a Canto 2, number 3.
Correct.
Vittorio and you. Tales of the Unnamed World, number 1. Drew and Vittorio.
Correct.
Canto 2, Hollow Man, number 4.
Got it.
Nice. Tales of the
Got
Unnamed
it.
World,
Got
number
it.
1. That is a convention exclusive cover by Drew and Vittorio. Oh, cool. That's a story card that's from the interior of issue 1. It's one of my favorite pages ever. Fun fact about that page, the reference that I gave Drew for it was Michelangelo's Pietà, Mary holding Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And he nailed it. Oh, is that your
City of
ultra rare?
Giants? No,
Yeah.
this is regular card.
Okay. That's a City of Giants incentive cover.
I am actually chasing after this OA at the moment.
That's Mateus,
Jorge.
right? Oh, Jorge
No,
Corona.
Yep.
Jorge Corona on Canto. Let's go.
Loved his story in the Tales of the Unnamed World.
I
Oh, that was
Yeah.
fun.
chasing that art too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's Drew and Vittorio.
Ultra rare.
Oh, nice. That's the
Nice.
holo of the Will Stolly card.
All
So
I
right.
got an
a
error.
A greatest hits of Canto covers.
Yeah.
If
Good
you
job,
want.
everybody. Yeah. We have 4 more boxes, so stick around. We're gonna crack all of them tonight. Well, as always, it has been such a pleasure to sit down with both of you guys and catch up once again, talk about comics, talk about Canto. We hope that it goes without saying, but I'll say it again here. Outside of us all being friends, I am I will say both Aaron and I are genuine fan of both of your guys' work, both individually and as a team. And we cannot wait to read the rest of Canto, A Place Like Home, and whatever else you guys do, either, or anything you guys, gosh, I can't talk. Anything you guys do either together or collaborate on in the future. So before we let you go, is there anything you guys want to plug or any socials you want to highlight before we let you guys go? David, we'll start with you.
By the end of the month, we're going to have an exciting announcement and a reveal for The Feeding, which is the other project that Drew and I have worked on together. So there's some other things coming down the pike, but we would love folks to really just go out there, pick up those Canto single issues, and pick up the hardcovers, catch up on the story if you haven't. And we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff, merch and book related. If you want to follow us on Whatnot, we do a lot of streaming there, and you can find everything, including a bunch of signed books and cards. It turns out, Canto cards.
And Drew, how about you?
Yeah, I will be on Whatnot a whole bunch now that Canto's back out. If you are in North Carolina, I will be at Heroes Con this year with a table. So for once, people will actually be able to find me. We have a whole bunch of stuff coming down the pipe. So the next 6 months is wild. So at Art of Drew Zucker for Instagram, Drew_Zucker on Twitter, and at Art of Drew Zucker on Whatnot.
Nice. Well, once again, thank you guys both for being here. Of course, we will see you back. I'm just going to go and assume that you guys will be back on in the future. So until next time, I guess we'll see you then.
I'm coming for you, Christian Ward.